best way to spend the holidays is get those you love around you, have a big time, have some fun, eat a lot, and happy holidays to everybody out there.
The best thing I ever received for Christmas is family, friends, relationships, and a future little one. Let's go, DC. Ready to defend it.
And the best gift that I have ever received was the Iron Man gym. It's one of those things that you can hang up in the door. You can do pull-ups and push-ups. And I told my parents I wanted it so I could play football. Again, man, happy holidays, and I hope that you get the best gift that you want this year.
Some of the favorite gifts that I ever received was a PS3 when I was younger, and also recently a Jeep Wrangler.
The best gift I've ever received during the holidays was presented to me by my kids, and it was a tackle box for fishing. And what made it so special is they know my love for fishing, but they took the time to create it, to put pictures on it, to make it personable. So it was my favorite gift of all time. Actually, it's a little beat up right now, but I do have pictures of them on there that they did. Dad's tackle box. They were extremely creative. The best gift ever.
Favorite present I ever got was a PlayStation 2 from Santa Claus when I was about 7 years old.
Today I want to let you know the best gift I've ever gotten during the holidays. For me, the best gift I ever got was last year. My family came to see me during the holidays. I haven't been with my family, all of us, like in one setting in like almost a decade. So that kind of was like really refreshing. I was really happy to see that and got to eat all the good foods that I used to eat as a child. And it was just a great, time during those holidays. So that's the best gift I ever gotten so far.
What is up, my friends, and welcome to another quick edition of the XFL Week in Review. I'm your host, Mark Perry, editor of XFL News Hub, your alt football media guru. On this week's show, we finally have details about the XFL Supplemental Draft. Will be January 1st. We'll talk about that. Mike Mitchell goes into more depth when it comes to that. We'll get into that in the show, plus a couple other hirings going on in the XFL world, and you know how we do it here at XFL Week in Review. So if you want to be part of the show, make sure you email podcast at XFL News Hub with your thoughts, or record an MP3 or video on your phone. We'll play it on next week's show. Leave a voicemail, 888-430-7692, extension 3, to be part of the show. And as always, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate that. On Spotify, help spread the word about the XFL Weekend Review. And we're usually live on Mondays, but we had the holiday. There was really nothing going on. And then today I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then this news came out. So like, okay, we got something to go with for today. So usually we are live at 8 p.m. Eastern every Monday. XFL Weekend Review on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And also the timeline. This is why you're here. January 1st, the XFL Supplemental Draft will happen. So there is no partying in the XFL world, because it is right into business. January 1st, players start to report, and then a couple days after that, and training camp officially begins on January 9th. And then the season kicks off February 18th. We are 52 days from XFL kickoff, and some of you all out there, including myself, are getting a wee bit nervous about what's going on with Vegas and what's going on with the schedule. So I am hopeful that by the time you hear this, that hopefully the schedule will come out. We'll do something special if the schedule comes out in between now and January 1st. But the plan is to try to do some kind of live coverage of the XFL Supplemental Draft. We don't know what that's going to look like because they haven't announced how they're going to do it. So they said it was happening on January 1st. So we'll stay tuned to that. So we've got details about the Supplemental Draft. We've got a couple other news and tidbits. So without further ado, folks, let's just get right into it. Get into the week that was the XFL. So the XFL Supplemental Draft information came out. So the draft pool consists of players who were previously ineligible to be drafted, as well as players who were not selected during the XFL Draft on November 16th and 17th. The selection process will occur in a snake-style format for all positions. Teams will take turns drafting players with the pick order reversing each round. You guys all know about that. Each team will finish the draft with 66 players that will join their team in the training camp. So The order of the draft are as follows. Number 1, St. Louis Battlehawks. Number 2, the San Antonio Brahmas. Number 3, Arlington. Number 4, Seattle. Number 5, Las Vegas. Number 6, Orlando. 7, America's team, DC Defenders. At number 8 is Houston. That's the details so far as we got them today. Mike Mitchell had an article out on XFL News Hub getting into more detail before this announcement came out. He said sources inside the XFL indicate that the league's supplemental draft could come as soon as the first or second day of the new calendar year, but that they've announced that now. There are 72 roster openings league-wide heading into the XFL's next phase of player acquisition. A combined 456 players are presently listed on the league's rosters. We don't know. Remember, December 26th, they were supposed to sign whether or not they're going to play in the XFL, or maybe they might sign with the USFL. We'll have to see how that all plays out. The maximum amount of players XFL teams can carry in training camp is 66, 528 from the 8 teams. All 8 teams in the XFL have over 50 players listed on their current rosters as of press time. Here is where the XFL team rosters stand on Monday, the 26th, in terms of roster availability. The numbers could change depending on how many players commit to the XFL for 2023. Keep in mind that XFL drafted players who haven't signed letters of intent could choose to exercise other playing options. So here's the current rosters as they stand right now. Arlington Renegades have 56 players, 10 roster spots available. DC 54 with 12 roster spots. Battlehawks with 55, 11 roster spots. Guardians with 60. So they only have 6 roster spots. Vegas Vipers 59 with 7 spots available. Brahmas 55, 11 spots available. Houston Roughnecks 61 with 5 spots available. And then the Seattle Sea Dragons with 56 players, 10 available roster spots. So basically, we'll probably get 10 rounds, 11 rounds, depending on, 12 rounds basically of this supplemental draft. But it could go real quick because once teams like Orlando and Houston Roughnecks use up their 5 spots in those first 5 rounds, then it will just go a lot quicker. So, and I would assume a lot of teams already know who they're going to pick up. 7 players drafted by XFL teams in November have either signed on with NFL teams or opted for other league options in the last few weeks. Most recently, assigned Seattle Dragons quarterback Steven Montez signed on the Detroit Lions practice squad. However, it will appear more likely that the move would indicate that Montez would not be part of the XFL in 2023. I'm sure they would offer him some kind of thing going into the off season to be a practice squad player. So we'll see how that goes. Sources have indicated that the door is being left open for him by Seattle should he decide to return, or in the event the Lions don't retain him. Montez wants to play in the XFL in 2023, but he could opt to try his NFL chances for the 3rd time. On January 1st or 2nd, supplemental draft seems to suggest that players who have expiring contracts on the 31st in the United States Football League will be part of the next wave of XFL player acquisitions, but who knows? Remember, their whole contracts things have changed. 2 familiar names attached to the XFL in recent months are USFL 2022 quarterbacks Jordan Ta'amu of the now defunct Tampa Bay Bandits. They moved to Memphis. And Brian Scott of the Philadelphia Stars. As of January 1st, any USFL players who did not opt in to the 2nd year of their USFL contracts are free to join the XFL if an opportunity presents itself. Both Spring League star quarterbacks have spent time with the XFL's Director of QB Development, Jordan Palmer. While under contract with the USFL, they are within their right to train with the QB trainer to the Stars independently. But every indication is that Ta'amu, former star with St. Louis in 2020, and Scott, one of the most productive QBs in spring pro football since 2020, are XFL bound. The latter is expected to join the Las Vegas Vipers to be, ironically enough, paired with another USFL signal caller in the New Jersey Generals' Luis Perez. The landing spot for Jordan Ta'amu could be more interesting one as well. The logistical connection could be with his former Battlehawk coaches, Jonathan Hayes and Chuck Long, but perhaps Ta'amu could see a reunion in St. Louis or could provide an experienced hand QB for teams like Orlando or DC. We will have to wait and find out. But January 1st, my friends, a New Year's first kicking off, getting right into it. New Year's fun with the XFL supplemental draft. This one, my friends, would be the most interesting out of all the all the drafting that has gone on with the XFL, because we should be seeing some NFL names and definitely some USFL names. And a good sign to come, the XFL on Monday night, Week 15 matchup, and I heard the Week 16 matchup between, well, at least it started here. Week 15 matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and Green Bay Packers. ESPN aired a quick 15-second promo talking about the XFL starting in February of 2023. Packers won 24-12. This past Monday, again, the Chargers versus Indianapolis Colts. I had seen that also popped up again as well. So fans were excited about that. The XFL is now less than 60 days before kicking off the 3.0 era, and with the NFL season winding down and fantasy football seasons are coming to a close. It's time to start talking what's next for your hardcore football fans. The NFL has only now 2 weeks left in the regular season. What's next for football fans after all the bowl games, NFL playoffs, and Super Bowl is the XFL. The USFL has already been running ads on Fox Sport broadcasts for the last several weeks. Their second season kicks off in April of 2023. Between XFL co-owner Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's promotion machine and the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN, the league should be able to generate a big buzz before kickoff on February 18th, 2023. The XFL still has a lot of work to do. Still no word about the Vegas Vipers stadium situation, which is the holding up the announcements of the XFL schedule. Players and coaches report to training camp in Arlington, Texas. We hear January 3rd. So XFL, of course, games will be aired on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and FX. What's interesting is that they did add ESPN Plus to the promo, which could be where fans can watch replays of the games. With the NFL playoff games on CBS, NBC, and Fox, don't expect any promos, of course, on those channels. Fox and NBC have a broadcast partnership with the USFL. The Super Bowl will also air on Fox, so expect more USFL promotions. Now, ESPN is really the only outlet for the XFL promos during the close of the NFL season. Maybe we could see NFL networks, since the XFL has a partnership with that league. That remains to be seen. Though I will say that when you see television stations, specifically the NFL Network, when they're showing PSAs, public service announcements, stuff that the government has kind of created, and do that, like, they're not doing that to be nice. They're doing that because there's no one there to fill that spot. That's something that's happened in the radio business. So I'm surprised that the NFL Network couldn't just drop a bone or two to the XFL, and instead of playing a partnership for Drug-Free America or, vaping commercial 20,000 times, then that's exaggerating. But maybe show an XFL spot on there might help the league out. Bill McClue joins the XFL as Chief Content Officer. So Janet Dutch is now elevated to the Chief Marketing and Team Business Operation Officer. So the XFL today announced that 11-time Emmy Award-winning Bill McClue is joining the league as Chief Content Officer, reporting to XFL President Russ Brandon. Current Chief Marketing and Content Officer Janet Dutch will now be elevated to Chief Marketing and Team Business Operations Officer. Lots of moving parts as we are getting close to kickoff. The addition of Bill to the team is a key hire for the league, said Brandon. The XFL is rooted in innovation and opportunity. As such, it is a top priority for us to be able to leverage our platform as a means for telling the unique stories of our athletes while also advancing their professional football career. Bill's expertise will prove invaluable as we pioneer new ways to engage and connect with fans and players in a way to be authentic and impactful. Great. Let's start doing it. How about now is a good time to see some kind of stuff from the XFL. As Chief Content Officer, McClue will oversee all content strategy, development, and production across the league, team, and partner channels, and will lead internal and external teams to create compelling content, build franchises that will engage fans, grow the XFL audience, and maximize ROI. Sounds good. He brings over 25 years of experience in content development and strategy to the league. Before joining the XFL, McClue served as executive vice president of one of the world's most prominent and influential gaming organization, FaZe Clan, where he led the company's vision around building intellectual properties and original content franchises. So he's got that gaming aspect of it, so he knows kind of where things are going. So that's kind of cool. Previously, he worked with the NFL as vice president of content development and vice president of creative directing of marketing, where he led marketing campaigns that helped drive record ratings for the NFL Combine, NFL Draft, and NFL Postseason. McClue also worked across the content departments of GoFundMe, GoPro, HBO Sports, and was the creative director and owner of Wonderland Productions. He was featured in Adweek's Top 100 Creatives featured in 2020 and was one of the recognized for his involvement in producing the NFL films A Lifetime of Sundays, NFL Super Stadiums, Facebook Watches, Hala Madrid, and directing HBO Real Sports. He won an Emmy as a producer, director, creative director, editor, and composer. All right. So hold a BA in Communications and Media from Susquehanna University. As Chief Marketing and Team Business Operations Officer, Dutch will expand her responsibilities to oversee the XFL's team business operation, including ticketing strategies, business intelligence, consumer products, and game day operations and presentation. Didn't somebody else just take that role or something? I thought somebody else had, game day operations and presentation. I'm getting confused. But still, a big pickup by the XFL. Clearly there's going to be a content machine coming soon. We just don't know when. But hey, we're only 52 days from kickoff, so we'll find out real soon. The XFL and Next League announced a multifaceted partnership. As the XFL progresses towards its February launch, it is our goal to find a partner with expertise on digital transformation, specifically within the world of sports. The XFL announced a multifaceted partnership with Next League, who are building the leading technology service organization in sports, providing thought leadership strategy. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It's truly the best partner. Our ability to stay ahead, support, and that will be creating unique digital experiences. Earlier this year, Next League helped relaunch the XFL's flagship website, played a key role in the XFL's team branding reveal in October, as team names and logos were debuted on the XFL's Next League managed online property. Most recently, the XFL leveraged Next League's capabilities to power its Draft Central, had a little issues in the beginning, which featured an interactive draft board and a graphics generator used by the XFL social team to highlight picks, which was cool. So we use that. So we appreciate Next League for that. Was also critical to support the integration of the in-venue draft board at the UFC Apex, where the draft was hosted. XFL 2023 draft saw executives and coaches from all Life team gather, blah, blah, blah. Now, Next League is working on elevating the live game experience for XFL.com, including the integration of live game data and statistics, allowing fans to follow all the games as well as team and player news and results all in one place. So we'll have to keep this. Is from Scott Harnman, XFL Senior Vice President of Technology. We'll see how these guys do as things get closer, and all eyes are going to be on the XFL. But another partnership, doing that. We just need to know, for us here doing News Hub Fantasy, would love to know what is the data partner for the News Hub, so we can do some getting data from the XFL. Blast from the past, per the IFL transaction page and first tweeted by Stars Blobber on Twitter, former OSU and DC Defenders QB Cardell Jones is taking his talents to the Indoor Football League. The 30-year-old former fourth-round pick was thought to be done with football, however, has made statements about playing in the XFL 3.0. Will now try his hand at the indoor game for the first time in his career. Cool. After a magical run at Ohio State where Jones won a national championship, he'd bounced around pro football since getting drafted by the Bills in 2016. After cutting his teeth with the Bills, in which he made his lone NFL appearance, Jones had stints with the Chargers, Seahawks before being allocated to the DC Defenders in October 2019. Great guy, met him in person, was great. He's definitely a great ambassador for the XFL. Just too bad, the playing just didn't hold up. But as far as off the field, great guy. Jones got off to a hot start with the Defenders, being the highest-rated QB the first 2 weeks. Jones' hot streak would cool off, and he still managed to lead the Defenders to a 3-2 record and a three-way first-place tie with the Battlehawks and Guardians before the league. You know what happened. Jones threw 674 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions during his 5 starts in the XFL, and I think that this third game he threw 4 picks or something. It was. Upon the conclusion of the XFL 2.0, Jones would garner an NFL workout with the Raiders, in addition to throwing multiple times at Ohio State's Pro Day. He'd garner an opportunity with the Edmonton Elks in May of 2020. However, his stint in Canada would only last 2 weeks and be released. For Jones, the once promising Buckeye is now appearing on his final pro football lifeline, as despite verbal interest in the XFL and appearing at the showcase, he remained undrafted. He could still get picked up with the supplemental draft. For fans of Cardell Jones, one might have to wait and see if he's able to utilize his opportunity in the IFL, get back into relevance. Either of the 2 outdoor spring leagues taking place in 2023. Might as well give it a shot. So Cardell Jones in the Indoor Football League with my Massachusetts Pirates. That is my official team, so I'm excited to see him there. Hopefully, I'm just hoping things go well for Cardell. And this is an opportunity players to play in the Indoor Football League to maybe make their way to the XFL. It's just another avenue for players to continue their professional football career for a little bit longer. All right, we'll take a commercial break and be right back with your social media stuff right after this. Stay tuned. What's up, XFL Army? If you're a fan of the XFL News Hub and you have a telephone, which I know all of you do because you're sitting there playing on your phones all the time, then why not download the XFL News Hub app? That's right, it's on iTunes. It's on Android. We have an Android version and an iPhone version of the XFL News Hub app. So what do you get? You get the latest news from XFL News Hub, the premier source of XFL news in the universe. Plus, you get push notifications when we have breaking news. You will be the first to know. You can leave a comment on some of the news right from your phone. Plus, you get this podcast on your phone as well. Remember, you can leave us reviews on the Google Play Store or iTunes. It links to other social media, our other social media accounts, and so much more. Be in the know. I know you're on your phones. People are on their phones all the time. They never get off their phones. So why not just download the XFL News Hub app on your Android or iPhone today? All you need to do is go to the Google Play Store or iTunes and just type in XFL News Hub. That's XFL News Hub. Download our app on your phone today. All right, my friends, we are back. Just a reminder before we wrap things up a little bit, make sure to head over to News Hub Fantasy to get signed up for fantasy football. We're just waiting for the data to come in, the schedule to come in, so that we can start adding it to the site. It's all ready to go. Actually was able to add the CFL schedule this past week, so we're going to work on the pick'em game for the CFL, which will then translate to the XFL. So excited about that. Also, XFL Week in Review fantasy team. It looks like the playoffs are on. Falcoholic and has moved on, and so did Satrix DC4L. They'll take each other in the final, and then the third place game will Gary's game-changing team and Lake Erie Silver Tongues. There's that winner. Either Satix DC4L or Falcoholic will get some XFL merch. So good luck to them this week in the finals. Also, don't forget to check out Alt Football on Reddit, adding more subscribers there. So you get all the XFL news from all of our news hubs, plus other stuff from other sources. This is your culmination of spring, all these kind of alt football news sources all in one spot. So you want to check that out there. Quickly, let's go to the social media stuff on the Facebooks. Always love the Facebooks. Oh, this looks weird. Let's see here. Go to the Facebooks because this doesn't come out right. Let's see. Loading, stand by. There we go. All right. About the XFL, Mike Mitchell's XFL supplemental draft and all that other stuff. Rodney says, leave Las Vegas and give the team to Milwaukee or Columbus, Ohio. Jonathan says the logos are atrocious, except for maybe Seattle's. Jonathan, you're atrocious, except for Seattle. Michael says, bruh, season starts in like 6 weeks and there's no schedules. Vegas has no stadium and has the NFL pulled out of the partnership. They have not. We haven't heard anything official like they're done. They're just trying to, according to Mike Mitchell, trying to rework what's going on in that respect. But yeah, the stadium situation, I hope it makes for good TV with all of these fancy people that the XFL is hiring. I really hope that, with all these fancy people being hired, that the content is top notch when it comes to the league. And certainly this drama with the trying to get this Vegas stadium deal situated would make for some really good television, in my opinion. So I think hopefully they got that going on there. Also, your pals at XFL News Hub wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from your pals, asking what your greatest Christmas gift is. We saw that in the beginning of the show. Mine, of course, if you didn't know, was my talking Alf stuffed animal I got. Joel says, all I want for Christmas is an XFL schedule. You seeing a theme here? And Derek says you should have brought a team to Reno, Nevada. Those games would sell out and would have had great fan base. Please come and see it for yourself. Huh. No, that's what the XFL wants to do. That is the spot that they want to be in. So there's really nothing y'all can do about it. Though, I mean, if we don't get the schedule announcement tomorrow, I'll making me nervous. But people are getting hired. We're seeing new people in here. It's not like, anything is illuminating on the, horizon that's negative. It's just this one piece so that we can just go. Let's just go. Maybe we just need to pray a little bit more for a resolution to Vegas. And Vegas is a tough town to crack if you're a newbie. So keep that in mind. But I thought people wanted to make money around here. To have your championship game in I don't know. Making me not like the Vegas Raiders. I do like them, but now they're starting to kind of tick me off. I have a feeling they're behind. Davis is behind issues maybe with the XFL. Ballinger Gardens 7080 says 60 days to the season opener and the Vipers still don't have a place to play. This is making me kind of nervous. Me too. Rock and Roll Alien 3955. I don't think there's a reason to be nervous. Okay, good. It would be bad optics to have the Vipers play at a high school or minor league baseball park, but it's not the same or even half as bad as having them play in an empty stadium out of market. Keep in mind the league actually flirted with the hub idea, but certain markets, St. Louis, Seattle, San Antonio, Houston, D.C., are just too profitable not to lease. A stadium, ultimately leasing Allegiant Stadium would be a risk, but the profit from the other markets will buttress that risk. Yeah, I mean, some of us thought that, because of the clamoring from your pals from XFL News Hub, Mike Mitchell posting that, they were thinking of doing the same model as the USFL, it kind of scared them off to doing that. And then they kind of did an about face and did this model, but just trying to, because they've had 2 years of run up for this, but you could see if you had 2 years, this would be hammered out by now, but it wasn't. And that has gotten us thinking that maybe it's because fans' reaction was like, oh, no, if you're going to do what the USFL did, forget it. So they had to make a change. Finally, and the email, we've got James checking in. He says, wanted to know if you heard if the XFL will have team chaplains. If so, who would we contact for St. Louis Battlehawks? Thank you. Love the show. Chaplain Jim checking in. Chaplain Jim, God bless you, my friend. Thank you for what you do to hopefully spread the word of faith. I'm a big faith guy. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. That stuff. I talk about that. I haven't heard anything about team chaplains. I think they have a lot of other roster spots and things to fill. But if I hear anything about team chaplains, I will let Chaplain Jim know if there's a spot, if they're looking. I don't know if they did that in 2020 either, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. All right, my friends, the quick show. Hopefully we'll have more news this week. We'll definitely have some kind of coverage of the supplemental draft. However, depending on how the XFL does it is how we're going to follow along. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get this to 60 likes as we end. This is the final show, my friends. Final show. I'm not going to see you again until next year. Do you believe that? Well, maybe. If we do a schedule or something else drops, maybe you will. Make sure you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. We're on everywhere. And if you want to be part of the show, as always, this show is about you guys, not me. I want you guys to participate with your guys' thoughts. That's why we read the social media stuff. Be part of the show. Email podcast@XFL News Hub with your thoughts, or record an MP3 or video on your phone. Play it on next week's show. Leave a voicemail, 888-430-7692, extension 3. All right, my friends, hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. All was well. Now we move into the new year, my friends. January, February. Then we'll be next time we hang out, we're basically 2 months, less than 2 months, from XFL kickoff. And it is going to be a wild ride, so buckle up, my friends. Also, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can get all of our latest content there. All right, my friends, hopefully I'll see you before next year. But if not, we'll see you early next year. We've got a lot to talk about, supplemental draft, hopefully the schedule, though I would do a live thing if we did schedule. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. All right, my friends, as always, mahalo out there. God bless, as always, and I will see you all later.